So welcome to this video where we're going to make a whole wheat bread loaf with only 2 ingredients. It's up to you exactly how much flour you're going to put inside of the bread. So I would take around 3 cups or so. The packet of yeast is basically for 500 gram to 1 kilogram of bread, which translates to just over 1 pound to 2 pounds of flour. So there's only 3 ingredients, or depends if you count water as an ingredient. This is the yeast. Ingredient number 2. The first ingredient is 100% pure whole wheat flour. So I've added the yeast now, and now you can also add water, and you're going to add around 40% of mineral water for each cup of flour. So if it's 2 cups of flour, then it's around 1 cup of water at around 80% full. And you can do the estimation and calculation in that way, and then you have to mix everything together as I'm doing now. So you mix your water with the 2 main ingredients, the yeast and the flour. Initially it'll be like a paste like you can see now, but if you get a water ratio right at around 40% of the flour, you're gonna very quickly have a nice ball of dough. You will know when the texture is right, so it shouldn't be too fluid. It should just be like a nice firm ball of dough. And as you can see, I'm getting there quickly. So after the first time that you're going to get a ball of dough, you're going to have to leave it for around 20 to 40 minutes so it could ferment a bit, so the dough can rise naturally. You can cover it with a piece of cloth and just leave it at room temperature. Then the yeast will feed on the natural sugars in the wheat flour. You don't need to add any extra sugar at all. So then you can knead it a second time if you want. Like you can't go wrong. There's nothing wrong with kneading it twice. It's like a way to be extra sure that all the ingredients are well combined and everything will work nicely for the bread to expand in the oven. And so now here it's a time-lapse video of the dough expanding. It was taken over around 20 minutes. Now it's played much faster, of course. So you can see the bread expands naturally thanks to the yeast being activated. Here it's the second time. After the first rising of the dough, I knead it the second time, and then it rises again. This is my bread pan. So you put your dough afterwards in a bread pan, and it's good to smear a bit of oil. There's some non-stick spray on your bread pan, just so the bread doesn't stick to the pan. I don't add any oil in the bread itself, obviously. And then you're going to bake it for around 40 minutes, exactly 40 minutes at 185 to 200 degrees Celsius. And it's a good way to make sure the bread is thoroughly baked through. This is simply to demonstrate how nice the texture is of the bread. It's not even a real bread knife, but it's the best knife I have at my disposal at the moment. And now you can slice the bread, and you will see the texture is as good as store-bought bread. Only problem is the shelf life is not as good, but there's a saying that the longer the shelf life, the shorter your life. So if you want a longer lifespan, eat less food with preservatives, because it's much healthier if you don't eat food with preservatives. To improve your lifespan, don't eat food with very long lifespans. It's healthier these basic 100% whole wheat flour breads with only 2 ingredients, bread and yeast, with added mineral water. And of course in the shops they're going to add regular tap water, they're not going to add mineral water. Mineral water is much healthier, much cleaner than the stuff you get from your tap. So as you can see, the texture is awesome in this bread. It's not going to last that long. You can keep the bread in the fridge for another day or 2, but it's especially nice to eat on the same day, or even in a few hours after you bake it. It's the best time to eat the bread. That's why it's not the smartest to make a huge bread if it's only for yourself, only for 2 people. Then rather do it more frequently. It's so easy. As you can see, making this bread is so easy. You can bake it you can just knead the dough quickly and leave it there, and then you quickly put it in the oven. So it takes very little actual effort. So rather make smaller breads more frequently. You don't have to worry about shelf life as much then. As you can see, great texture. Texture is the same as regular bread, and it's only, once again, only yeast and flour, 2 ingredients. But I did allow sufficient time for fermentation, so which means that the texture is perfect, as you can see there, and I did bake it thoroughly through for 40 minutes at around 200 degrees Celsius, but to be safe you can say 185 degrees Celsius should be decent as well. Depends on the strength of your particular oven. Here you can see what a nice finished product. So to find the actual blog post, check out my site www.healthtraveljunkie.com to complement this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comment below and subscribe to my channel.